If you have been diagnosed with a disc bulge and even a herniation, you're looking to find the safest, best way to train your lower body, this video specifically was made for you. I'm gonna show you 3 of my favorite go-to exercises that I will cycle and do different variations of, especially if you have a disc bulge and you're looking to train the lower body without compromising the situation you have going on in your lower back. And this is your first time here, make sure you grab the free guide that I'm giving away with this series. I've put together a blueprint PDF of exercising with a disc bulge. If you are afraid to make mistakes, if you're afraid to do the wrong thing, cause more pain, cause more damage, this guide specifically is for you. I download everything I know, everything I teach my own students who come to me for disc bulge advice as far as exercising and doing it smart. I give it all to you absolutely free in this cheat sheet guide. So you can grab that at fitnessforbackpain.com/pain-free training. Now, before we get into the lower body training exercises that I want you to try out for yourself, you gotta remember one thing, always stay within your pain threshold. Everyone who has a persistent low back situation has a very specific or individualized exercise threshold, which means basically you don't want to go past that threshold. Past that threshold is 6, 7, 8 and 10 out of 10 pain. You don't want to do that. You want to stay below that so you can kind of control and maintain a grip on your symptoms, and you'll know whether or not these exercises are actually working for you. So understand, learn, and get to know your pain threshold intimately when it comes to applying exercise and staying out of pain. Let's jump in. All right, so the first lower body exercise I want you to try, especially if you have a disc bulge, is the single arm dumbbell. You're gonna hold a dumbbell. You're gonna be supported by the rig, wall, door jamb, car bumper, whatever you may have, and you're doing step back lunges. What you're gonna do is think stability, think control, think relaxation. That's what you're trying to do, because you're not trying to make pain worse. You're not trying to have any kind of flare up or catch a weird spasm. So that's why I like to use a support structure. So my confidence now is in my body, building that, but also I'm using my rig here to boost my confidence in my ability to maintain a good, healthy position. So once I'm stepping back, I'm gonna try to do it without the weight first. I'm stepping back. Key thing to remember is you're not stepping too far back, and then now you're trying to lunge and then you're overextending the low back. What we're trying to stay away from is this kind of thing where you're super extended. You want to try to keep that neutral. So what I like to do is go through my cues. Ribs are down, abs are on, pelvis is in neutral, everything's nice and braced. I'm gonna step back and I'm gonna focus on keeping this in that neutral position as I'm coming down. And as soon as I start to lose the ability to keep that, and I start doing this, or start getting weird, then I'll stop there and then come back up. So when it comes to doing it with weight, it's the same situation. I'm here, I've got my boost of confidence, my stability factor here. I'm gonna bring my shoulder blades back and down, it's nice and stable, nice and stacked. I'm gonna step back, okay, everything's braced and neutral. I'm gonna come down nice and slow, and I'm only coming to the point where I can maintain that comfortable neutral position. So I'm here, I'm still neutral, I'm still neutral, I'm still neutral. Now, one trick I will say is that if you're having a hard time staying upright, so as you're coming down, it's hard to stay upright and keep that lower back from getting kind of in a weird position, allow yourself to come forward some. Not flex, we're not flexing the spine, but we're hinging at the hips and coming this way. So now I can do the same thing and I have a little bit less stress here on the low back. So I'm stepping back and forward, and I'm finishing there. All right, so the second exercise for the lower body when it comes to disc bulges, trying to play it safe, trying to stay out of pain, build strength, smart, is the goblet squat. Now, I will add a secret trick, not a secret trick, it's what I do. I've got 2, I think they're 5 or 10 pound plates here. You wanna have maybe ½ an inch of leverage. Now there's lifting shoes that you can get, which, you know, they're expensive and they're silly to have unless you do like powerlifting and Olympic type lifts. So grab 2 books, grab 2 small plates just to elevate your heel about that much. So the goblet squat essentially is holding the weight as close as you can to your body, just like this. Now, when you're going into the squat, the heel lift is gonna allow you to give yourself, or it's gonna give you some artificial ankle range of motion. So if your ankles are super tight, it's actually really hard for you to get into a good squat position, and things start happening in your lower back that might compromise how you feel, cause pain, cause symptoms. So I'm gonna grab my goblet or my weight here, have it close to my chest, and I'm gonna have my feet on my heel lift, and I'm just gonna go down, squatting and coming back up. Your depth will depend on how you can manage it, what feels good to you. As far as you're going down, what you're thinking about is ripping the ground apart with your feet and driving your knees and your hips out. So here, I'm putting it out, push, 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 and then back up. The key with this and what the heel lift allows you to do is safely maintain that neutral, straight lower back. Not that having a little bit of flexion is bad, but if you're highly sensitive, we just want to play it safe. So from the side profile here, you'll see my heels are lifted. As I'm coming down, I'm not trying to come back like this. You know, I'm allowing my knees to track forward. That's totally fine. Come down, glutes are engaged, pelvis is on. Drive, 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 back up, squeezing the glutes to the top. So if you watch my low back, it's in a good position. Now, your depth might not be here. You might not have that range of motion. That's fine. That means you can stop here if you'd like, or here, whatever you want to do. All right, so the third lower body exercise I'm gonna show you here, safe for disc bulges, is a hamstring curl. Now, I'm gonna show you a at-home variation of this hamstring exercise. You can do really any hamstring exercise. What this is probably one of the most gentlest ones you can do. You can do straight leg deadlifts, you can do hamstring curls on a machine, but not everyone has a gym access right now, especially with the global situation. So I'm gonna show you a easy at-home variation you can try and see how you like it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to get my band. Obviously, the heavier the band, the harder it's gonna make it. I've got two elevated things here. They can be dumbbells, they can be phone books if you have one laying around the house, or blocks, or whatever you may have. It's just to give me a little bit of leverage to lift up and get my butt off the ground, right? So I'm gonna take my band, put it around my waist like a this. Get my legs not completely straight like this, but I'm gonna have them slightly bent, and I'm gonna push up here, and I'm gonna try to drag my heels towards my butt. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Relax, trying to stay up. Squeeze, 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 and back. Key thing to remember is not everyone has a lot of shoulder strength, so if you can get yourself into a higher up positions where you don't have to push yourself up to the max so much, if you're higher up, you can just kind of support yourself on your shoulders and then do it that way. Again, adjust your band, keep everything nice and tight as best you can. You're trying to stay as neutral as possible on the upper body. And as you're drawing, you're focusing all that attention on the hamstrings. If this one does not work for you, if it's just too difficult, too much stuff going on, feel free to use whatever hamstring exercise that you prefer to do or have access to. This one specifically, especially for disc bulges, doesn't require a lot of heavy loading hip hinging, which can be kind of dicey for some people who have bulging discs. Try it out, let me know what you think about this hamstring. If you have another hamstring exercise that you prefer to do, especially with your specific disc bulge situation, leave a comment in the comment box below. If you have any other suggestions as far as lower body exercises, something that may be better or that I'm missing on this list of 3 that I've given you here today, leave a comment. Let me know what exercise you prefer to do for your hamstrings. Let everyone else know so that we can kind of get some value from your experience as well. And again, don't forget, if you are tuned into this series and you're in it to win it, all the videos that are coming out down the pipe, make sure you pick up that free blueprint guide for disc bulges and exercise if you're trying to do it safely, trying to do it smart, not trying to be led by fear and pain and anxiety around what you have going on. Grab that download. It's a free gift. I give you everything I know when it comes to exercising safely, building smarter strength despite your disc bulge. Check it out, fitnessforbackpain.com/pain-free training. See you on the next episode.